So I didn't know if we were gonna get CJ back for another one, but here we are. About middle of the week last week, he texted me, um, "I require to watch another," or something like that. What did you say?
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm willing to put myself through it once again, or like yeah, something like that. Don't think it was as good as the first one.
Really? Okay.
I like the action in it. The action, I like the wolves. The wolves are cool. Older. Editing 3D stuff. It's gonna. But like the choreography of the wolves was.
hmm
That's what I liked.
So let's talk about the wolves then.
Oh,
So, so I guess this starts with Jacob, right?
yeah.
So Jacob has already told Bella pretty much that they are all wolf people. Like in the first movie, they go to the beach called La Push. Not it's not called Da Bomb. It's
It's
called
called La Push.
yeah, the beach.
Sure.
Anyways, at the beach they're walking and he says the cold ones made a deal with us. We descended from wolves. And so then in this movie she makes the big understanding that they are still wolf people or whatever, and she's like, oh, boom, mind blown, after like seeing wolves everywhere. Like it takes her a long time to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though like the man had the giant tattoo, was dying from like malaria or quote malaria, whatever it was.
Like there's a bunch of guys who bully each other. They call each other like, oh, he looks like a scared little pup. He follows him
Yeah, it's
around
like
like a puppy.
I
We're
get
just dogging around.
I get it's supposed to be like a wolf pack kind of. Ooh, we're gonna be roughing around each other. LOL. Ha 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 ha. It was weird. It's like they were related. I didn't know if they lived together or were they just like randomly shirtless guys who just hung out all the time together because they all had the wolf gene or whatever it was.
I didn't even consider that. I guess they're part of the same tribe, but I guess they're not family. They're just friends.
Do they have to have the same like what is it called? Wolf like gene? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
so they have shared ancestors, so I guess they are family. Except they're not exactly family because one of them is engaged.
And it's all like guys. Can like a woman not be a wolf? Is that what it
That's a
is?
good question because there is. Yeah, you're right. I guess it is only guys. Let's talk about Jacob.
Okay.
Do you think he's better or worse than Edward for Bella? By the way, I wore
He's
my most Bella outfit today. I thought about doing Edward today, but I ended up going Bella, I guess. So that's
you could have gone with the black sweater or with the he dressed like an
he
old man.
he wears button up all the way up to the top.
Jacob's always like, I'll protect you, I'll never hurt you like Edward did.
hmm
And then she's like she says he's 16, so he's younger than her. But like he's like gigantic and looks 25.
As soon as she said you're like 16, I got like pulled completely out of it. I was like, what the fuck is what?
Yeah, I was
Like,
like, what?
no, 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 no. He ain't 16. Like that ain't even close. Just don't even mention ages if you're gonna
And
do
like
something like that.
yeah, and then like the whole thing with like when it was Bella's birth, we're supposed to be talking about Jacob, but when it was Bella's birthday, the brother was like, "You like older women or something like that? You like dating older?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
Besides the point, but I think even though Edward tried to like kill himself and everything, and I think Edward's better because it this movie made it look like Jacob was just like if I don't make like the Hulk, he was like the Hulk. Don't make me get mad before I wolf out on you, and like stuff like that. Like he was always like, "I'll protect you." When she was going to leave Edwards, he like jumped in like the car, like hanging over the car over the
yeah.
vampire. He was like, "Please," he was like so awkward. We're not awkward. He was just like I don't even know how to explain it.
I get what you're saying because I always thought that too. The first time I saw this movie, that's why I hated it so much. Is he's like so aggressive, and he's like so well. If I can't be with you, literally no one can. Like burning down everything. I don't know. He's like aggressive in a weird way. And then the other thing is like I don't know. And then towards the middle, like the beginning and middle of the movie, he's just like a positive influence. Like he's just like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
let's just build motorcycles. Let's
let's just build motorcycles, be friends. Yeah.
yeah, and
No.
then
Would they go see Face Punch? Is that the great ass movie Face Punch?
I literally I remember when they introduced the Wolf Tribe characters to the story. I just go, God damn, I miss being at that high school and laughing at all the teenager background characters because they're so much funnier and more interesting than like the whole Wolf Tribe. Like they didn't really give them different personalities. Um, I feel like what's also strange is that Jacob is like, I think he's supposed to be like the runt of the litter, but he's like the most jacked of all of them. Like, what's going
And
on
like,
there? The other guy, the other big guy who's like the leader, looks like he's 30. He's like,
yeah. So I guess the werewolves can age. That would make sense though. That would make sense though.
yeah, I think they do age naturally. I was just surprised because they're all like teenagers, and then the one is like
This one
32.
guy's 30 with a wife. With a wife.
Yeah, with a wife who's in her like 20s.
Yeah, bro. And then Jacob was like, "You saw what happened to his wife. This is why I can't love you, because I might wolf out." And it's exactly like Ed. I guess like that's a intentional parallel because Edward was like,
Yeah.
"I don't want to ruin your soul. Your soul will be damned forever."
I think
Okay.
the real villain here is Bella. She's attracted to like the most toxic people. Like, did you notice when Mike asks her out to go see a movie, and he's like, "You want to go see like a romance with me?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure. Hey, we should get everyone to go." And then she also changes it to an action movie, and everybody says no because they know Bella's toxic as fuck and nobody likes Bella.
Oh
And,
yeah, the girl like called off and said, "Yeah, I'm just not gonna fucking come."
and then it's just Bella, Mike, and Jacob. And they both have their hands like this so that Bella can hold either of their hands. And then Mike, you can see like on his face he's really weirded out. He's like, "What the fuck did I sign up for?" And then he runs out and like throws up in the bathroom. I think he was like, "I'm done with this toxic situation. I need to get
It
out."
was weird because like, what was so graphic about Face Punch that made made a motherfucker have to run out the theater vomiting?
And the newest season of The Boys, there's a scene where Huey walks into a room and Queen Maeve goes, "It's like you just walk in and every bit of you exudes, 'I'm a bottom.'" That's like how Mike was when he came out
It
of the
really
bathroom.
is. He's like portrayed as this like loser at. But to be fair, like Bella like broke up with, or Edward broke up with Bella, and then the day after he's like, "So, you and Cullen not a thing anymore. Want to go to the movies or something?" And it was like this whole thing with Bella like ignoring what Edward wanted her to do, doing all this adrenaline rushing stuff.
Yeah, the fact that he's like not really in the movie, you kind of feel it a lot. Like he's not likable, but I miss being able to laugh at him. Like
Yeah.
like when he's there, I feel lots of cringe very deeply. At least I'm feeling something when he's on screen. When it's like the wolf characters, I'm like, what is this? Like, no
I
more.
didn't I didn't expect Alice to be such a foothold in this movie.
Hmm.
Like the entire time. I was just like, and I see what you were talking about with like the vampire's special individual powers getting, especially the the guy who can just read what everybody's memories ever. I was like, oh,
Except Bella's. Bella is like immune to vampire powers.
which is strange. Like, why?
She's a bad actor. She's not emoting, so we don't. No. I always thought when Edward is in the room with her, and he can't read her thoughts, he's like, "That's weird. I'm supposed to be able to read your thoughts, but I can't." I thought it was just a her and him thing, but now it's just
Yeah,
kind of strange. Like, why nobody nobody's powers
but
work?
but it's weird because Alice can like see what can happen to her, to
Oh
Bella. So like
yeah.
Alice's powers the only ones that work on Bella?
That's a strange thing about Alice too, is that her powers are very specific in the first two. Like she can see things exactly as they will happen. But later on, when it's more convenient, they're like, oh, it may or may not happen the way that she envisions it.
Yeah, no, because in this movie she was driving a car like at least 90 miles per hour. She had to like sketch everything out and couldn't even say what it was.
So what'd you think of the Volturi? I guess that leads us to that.
I was like, I didn't know they were like gonna make their own little Italy and like actually like go. I thought this is like gonna set up for the later movies or whatever. Vampire. No, they just went straight in, just jumped straight in. This man said, "Kill me." We can. I was confused because they were like, "We can't just kill you. You have these special powers that we want. We can't compromise."
Yeah.
And he's like, they could have just like set it up in this movie, and then
Paid it off later.
then like added on later. Yeah,
Yeah.
added on later.
I mean, you got a taste of it. They will come back. But like, yeah, I see what you mean. And it's also like a little. The main leader guy is like irresponsible and he's kind of bumbling. Like it's a great actor guy, but like Edward comes in, he's like, kill me. And they're like, no. And he's like, it's gonna happen anyways. Which means he's gonna go reveal himself and he goes, oh, shame. So, okay, if you just like kill him then. Because like if he's do it the clean way, if you're trying to make sure vampires aren't found out by humanity, just fucking kill him. Like don't let him go reveal himself and then kill him.
It was like, why was there just a random celebration in this Italian town about dispelling vampires? Just randomly? What a coincidence.
I kind of liked that. I liked the. Did you notice it was like way brighter for all of this?
Yeah, than like the rest of the movie.
It's like they cranked up the saturation, and I don't know why, because like that was clearly the most expensive shots of the whole movie, because like thousands of extras, thousands of costumes,
and like it was colorful, like the bright yellow car, everybody wearing red.
I love the car. The car was great.
Yeah, I that's what I was. Yeah. And she was whipping it. She was going 80, 90 down the windy roads. I said, oh my goodness.
They're actually so merciful.
Yeah, even though he was like, we don't give second chances. They
like they gave what's his name? Who's the guy? Carlisle. Carlisle just like couch slept with them for like years. They say that in the beginning.
Just for no reason. He said Carlisle stayed with them for a few years.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, why? Can you tell me about that? Can you expand? And then like afterwards when he comes to them, they're like, you can stay here. Like, we got a couch. Carlisle used to sleep there.
Like, please, just stay. You're just so talented.
They're like sweet to him. Like they're like literally stay here, bro. We got a therapist. We got like free blood. Like
oh yeah, when they fucking led like the group of people when they thought they were on like a tour and they just fucking killed them.
I was confused for a second because he walks by her and she's like wearing this dress that shows a bunch of cleavage and he goes, they look juicy, and she goes, yeah, and he goes, save me some, and I'm like,
yeah, he's like,
oh, the people, okay, got it, the people.
The black guy came back for like
10 minutes
just to get slaughtered by Jacob and the wolves, which is great.
I don't think he's actually dead. I don't remember, but I don't think he's actually dead because they do cut away when the wolves are attacking him.
When Bella was like basically talking shit to Jacob's face, you can't kill vampires. They're vampires.
Yeah,
man.
And he basically says they did.
Yeah, he like there's even a little flashback. He was like, we got rid of that dreadhead nigga easy enough.
You can't kill vampires, they'll kill you.
Really? We took out that leech with the dreads easy enough.
And it showed like a clip of like one of the wolves jumping, like eating the fuck out of him. So he could be alive. I don't know.
I actually thought like he's kind of sweet to Bella. That guy like comes up to her and he's like, hey, I'm doing you a kindness. This other lady's out to kill you and she's not going to be this nice. Like he asks her questions. He's like, are you doing all right? I heard the Collins left. Like he's being legitimately sweet to her.
I mean, I get he was trying to be like intimidating, like, are the Collins still here?
Yeah.
But it was also like, he was like, it felt like he was like genuinely like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill you quickly because old girl is gonna.
I just don't understand the theme of the villains are nicer than our heroes. Like, what's going on
Yeah,
here?
and I'm also confused that but like her whole like little side story that was
Yeah.
only like 15 minutes of the movie, and they just cut to the like the
Yeah.
vampire Vatican section.
It's less than that. Does she even have a speaking line?
No, she's just getting like chased, and then they said he chased her back to Canada or something. I don't
She
know.
doesn't even like need to be there because the only time that she's any kind of influence on the she's her fight scene with a wolf is part of a montage. Like it's playing music and then she's like Jaws. You could have literally used a shark because Bella falls into the water and the vampire lady's like
Yeah, she starts coming to him, and
Jacob saves her.
it's still crazy. She jumped in, and did the cliff diving, only took off her jacket, was still wearing the rest of her clothes. Then just Jacob just found her after he hit her head on a rock or something.
Jacob who's wearing pants somehow.
Only pants. I get they only wear pants because they transform to wolves.
No, I mean, but how did he get his pants back?
Do you think they have like just like drawers and drawers of jorts just in their reservation?
Yeah, but like they're thousands of miles away from the reservation, aren't they?
Maybe he got an extra pair in his truck. Wait, does he have a truck? I don't even. Maybe he just has an extra.
I think the canon reason is they have a wolf pouch, and it's like right on their stomach, and they keep some pants in there.
What the hell?
No,
That's not real.
that's not real. Whenever they did the cliff jumping at the beginning of the movie, I just remembered the part of Stranger Things when they're like gonna jump off the cliff and into the water, and they're like, you realize the way that gravity works, if you're going that fast, the water just turns into a brick wall and you die.
Your bones are going to crack in half. If you're not a professional diver and know how to break the plane, you're turning into mashed potatoes.
Even when the one guy jumps and he does his hands like that, I don't know if it's real. I mean, if it's real, then I don't know anything. But when he does his hands like that, you're gonna break your wrists, aren't you? Like that's not how it works.
You'll break all the bones in your hand and probably both wrists.
Yeah, at the least. And then how are you gonna swim out of there?
Shit, all shoulder, I guess. Just fly.
Speaking of all shoulder, fucking Jacob, my man.
No, because I remember Jacob the first time we saw him shirtless, shredded, ripped.
Yeah.
Then when Edward was gonna like expose himself, he wasn't shredded or ripped at all. And I was just like, oh my! Like the other wolves were like they were like built, but he was like prime time chiseled. It was crazy.
I think the reason the alpha guy is like so old is because that's the only like extremely in shape person that they could find. But he's not even as shredded as like Jacob is.
Yeah.
There's two moments that I really noticed. Like one where she's coming back to Jacob's house or whatever. Yeah. She's talking to him in the rain. Remember?
Yeah, and the pouring rain.
Yeah, and he's like walking past as she drives up in the truck, and he's got like fucking 12-pack. Like Jesus Christ! And then like again when he's in her room. Like the shoulders on that guy are bigger than Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Yes,
it's crazy.
What are those? I can't remember what those muscles are called, deltoids or something like that. But they're like insane.
This man was in the gym every day, working every part of his body.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I wish he worked more on his acting, but
you know, I could tell he was really trying though. He was really trying to be that emotional. I love you, but you don't love me back. You know what I'm trying to say.
I did like, he's much more likable when he's being likable than when he's being emotional. Whenever he's being emotional, it's like, all I can do is imagine a different actor delivering the lines, especially like when they're at the movie theater. Mike is like doing his best. Like Mike is really trying. He comes out of the bathroom and he's like, What? I was sick before. He goes, I need to go home. And Jacob doesn't say anything. And he goes, what? I was sick before I came to the movie. And then they cut back to Jacob and he goes, like, you're really messing up my jive, man, or something like that.
Yeah, no, he was like, well, you should be in the hospital, and I'll put you in the hospital. Oh, Jacob, what the fuck?
And then, like, it's so strange, too, because, like, he says, like, I need to go home. And the script, it probably says, facially react. Like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? And, like, they just go, like, what?
I need to go home. I was feeling sick before the movie, okay? What is your problem?
Right now, you're my problem. Feeling sick? Maybe you need to go to the hospital. You want me to put you in the hospital?
It's like he was waiting for them to react, and then he was like, okay, I'll just keep going, I guess.
And then my favorite part is after Jacob, like, storms out, and he goes like, maybe I'm, woo, and then he, like, walks out. And what's his name? Mike goes, man, what a freak.
What a weirdo. I was like, didn't you just, like, throw up at watching Face Punch or whatever it was?
That's one of the only jokes that's landed, and I don't even know if it's intentional. Like, that actually had me laughing. No.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. But I did like, okay, so I texted you a picture of, sorry everybody, the queen is dead. Our closeted gay man has now been given a studio mandated female love interest. At first I was really mad about it. I was like, come on. Like, what are you doing here?
It was random out of nowhere, too.
But, like, I kind of like it now because there's a few, like, bits, especially when they're playing, like, Romeo and Juliet or whatever in the classroom. Everyone's like falling asleep, and he's like, like, crying. And then later, Bella asks, like, his girlfriend to hang out, and she goes, yeah, I'd love to. He's always so, like, emotional or something like that. It's so funny.
When she, like, rode the motorcycle with that random guy. But I liked her. She had, like, these weird not weird, but, like, her monologues when, like, Bella would, like, zone out. And, like, it'd be, like, little things. It'd be, like, she would say, like, I get you, like, you're depressed and suicidal or whatever, but I have shit to deal with, too. And I'd be like, damn, what the fuck?
Those scenes are so funny. Like, she's walking out of the movie theater, and she's like, some people just, some girls just like to buy things, you know? Like, he doesn't want to give me money, but... And he's like, well, I guess some girls don't want to buy things. Anyways, I get that you're, like, depressed, but that's, like...
Just out of nowhere, just throw a little jab in there. I get you're depressed, but nigga, I got shit to do too.
I thought it was so funny because there's a girl, one of my coworkers, is exactly like that. When the boss lady was like, "You really need to get therapy." Like, I've had several people that work here say that you create a sad, like, an angry work environment.
A work environment.
And she said, "No, I don't. No, they didn't, because they would tell me." And then the boss was like, sometimes I feel like you hate me. And she goes, I do.
Oh, damn.
That made her instantly my favorite coworker because she's just so fucking honest.
Another thing in the movie was the whole, like, Romeo and Juliet theme after they introduced it. Really, like, kind of shoved that in your mouth. Like, out of nowhere. It was like, Edward think you died. He's finna go kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? And he's in Italy finna go kill himself. I was like, what?
There's no plane footage either. They're just in a car and then they're there.
The one person who came back and did his job was the dad. Again, his acting was great. His character.
So I guess Billy Black, the dad of Jacob, didn't die.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he goes like, oh, my dad is there with your dad.
Told me it's your birthday.
And I'm like,
happy birthday.
I thought he died.
It was fucked up when Bella went to Jacob's house and was like, I gotta speak to him. And his dad was like, he's not here right now. And she said, okay, wheelchair man, try and stop me. And just walked around him. It was so fucked up. You can't just walk in the man's house like that. That's so fucked up.
I thought that the other guy, the one that he goes like hunting with, is like basically the replacement Billy Black, because
Yeah.
he is, and then he just dies because I guess
From a heart attack. Bro, the friends, it was like one white guy who had a tan and like two Hispanic people. Those were not Native American people. I have Native American cousins. I've seen Native American. That was just a tan white guy and two Hispanic people.
I kind of like the contrast between them because they look so like healthy and tanned, and then you see the vampires and they look like sterile and like monsters or like robots, like
Especially
dead.
like the Vampire Council. They looked like so like Nosferatu, like old timey. They acted like it, talked like.
You know what I didn't like about that was the main guy. You know, like, have you ever watched Lord of the Rings? Elf people. You can tell they've been shaving with like razor blades to get it as thin as possible everywhere. He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow going on. Like, what?
I saw that. Hey man, why can't a vampire grow facial hair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Oh, I was also gonna say the Jamaican guy who dies. I don't know if he's Jamaican, but I'm just gonna call him that.
I call him that.
The guy, he dies. When he's got his shirt unbuttoned, you could tell they like put some kind of makeup. I don't know what they were doing, but they gave him sort of palish black skin, and I've never seen that before. But I thought it was really interesting.
I didn't peep that. I'm gonna go back and peep that. How his character went from, hey, he's a fun guy, you know. Then like when he started trying to emotionally act, it was kind of. I think it was when he cut off his hair. It was like, I'm a wolf man now. I'm a wolf man.
I guess that's where the turn happens. Like that's where his arc happens. It's kind of like you know, a character arc. You know, you got the rising action, blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
His just goes. So he's just a friendly guy that's friends with Bella, and then one day he's like, yeah, I love you and I would run away with you, but I can't run away with you. And I also can't tell you that I am a wolf man.
Yeah, no, he in that same conversation, he's like, I can't tell you why. And then he's like, but you already know.
Yeah.
Like,
I was surprised how long it took Bella to connect the dots. Like she should have.
Seeing the wolves slaughter the black man in front of her. Like, okay. And then see that one wolf make eye contact with her.
Yeah, the one who looks exactly like Jacob.
And then he just jumped fucking off a tree into your room.
They chased the vampire lady off the cliff, and Jacob's wolf is like standing at the cliff. The fur animation was so damn good, like crazy good. Like, these days, I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not a VFX artist. I can't be saying stuff like that.
Not you said they don't do it as good as they did in 09. Oh my god.
Some of the stuff is just better. Like, the part where Jacob, like, parkours into her room.
Jumps from wall to tree scoops into her window. That's a little...
You know, I like the cinematography better in this. What did you think about the music? Because I did think it was different. I don't know if it's better or worse.
Yeah, I think I like the music in the first one better.
Me too.
Just not like anything specific. I just like the song choice and like where they put the music better in the first one.
It felt like it flowed better in the first one.
Yeah.
But like I think there was some good tracks in here. Like you saw that shot where she's in her room and the camera spins around her and the seasons are changing. Right?
Yeah, that was when after Edward left. Yeah. That was.
Just letting you know, that's where Twilight peaks in terms of trying new things cinematography wise. When she's like hanging out with all her vampire buddies and it's like her birthday and they're all getting her gifts, they're playing like this Skippy ukulele song. It sounds like non-copyrighted music, and I'm like, what's going on here? This isn't. Bella's always zoned out. I think
all the time.
I've been thinking about it a lot because we had the debate, is she popular or is she bullied? And I think it doesn't matter. I think the whole point of the scene where the guy roasts her, by the way, he's just missing from this movie.
I think they fucking ran him off because I think that was the last black guy in the school.
I think that whole scene is because Bella just doesn't understand social interactions. Because the guy roasts her and she's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, and like looking back, it could have been just like a funny, haha, a little funny punch jab at a friend.
It could be. I don't know. I think that's the whole thing is that again, when she's hanging out with her friend and her friend is like, why are you like depressed? Like, you're stupid. And then after that, like, she runs away on a bike and then her friend is like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, you scared me. And Bella doesn't like process that as like she's not a good friend.
Like, she said that Bella was crazy. You left your friend to get on a motorcycle with a stranger.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think her friends are not that bad of friends in this movie compared to the first movie. Like,
yeah, they were terrible. Like, running up and kissing her and running away.
Yeah. In this one, they're a lot better. I think especially even the girl who's like rude to her immediately goes to hang out with her when she opens up to it. Mike immediately, the first time he sees her, yes, he's like hitting on her. But he's like, you're eating again? That's good. Like, that's like the first thing that he says. And like, it's not the best effort, but he's trying.
Like, it also feels like Mike isn't that great at social interactions either.
I mean, I think Mike is her best option of any of the guys that are in these movies. But like, yeah, he's not great.
In the school.
I almost felt like this movie was written, like this book, I guess it's a separate book, was written before she wrote the first one. And the first one is like, oh, you got to introduce all these characters so we can get to the second story.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's my analytical brain was like, okay, the part where she's riding on the motorbike and like Edward's appearing to her feels like a very specific thing that she must have had in mind before she even wrote the first one.
And like Bella's whole like, I don't want to call it like PTSD from Edward, but like her like night terrors, her seeing him in the visions.
Mm-hmm.
When she was having those night terrors, I felt so bad for the dad because he was like, "What's wrong?" She just wouldn't tell him.
Me too.
He was like, "He's not coming back, sweetie. I'm sorry. I wish I could do something." Like, I just felt he's such a dad. Like, he's such a
like, yes, like your first breakup is bad, but like poor Charlie is getting woken up in the middle of the night. Like, he's a cop in this one town. Like, he's getting woken up in the middle of the night to like his daughter screaming. He almost sends her off. By the way, he almost sends her off to go visit her mom because it's so bad.
Yeah, and then Jacksonville.
And then instead, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go shopping with my friend." He's like, "Okay, that's healthier. We'll just go on that track."
He's like, "Okay, girls' day, go do it."
Like he even said like, "Oh, your mom signed on to me shipping you out. She's expecting you like later today. Oh, you're going shopping. Never mind." No, I immediately thought like, okay, Charlie gets handed his daughter by a shirtless man who found her unconscious in the woods. All right, some things are a little fishy here.
This back-to-back times that Bella's parents have been like, because like after like Edward and his dad came back with Bella with like a broken leg, bleeding everywhere in the last movie. You just fell out a window, Clum. I'm a shirtless, mysterious man walks up with her.
And Charlie takes her and goes, "Thank you." Which I guess is like proof that he's a good cop. He doesn't judge people. Like, but no.
I would have definitely stereotyped that man.
I would have beat that. I would beat that man to a pulp. Oh, you found her unconscious in the woods. Where's your shirt? What were you doing in the woods?
That. You don't have to tell me that. You can tell the investigator that over
like,
it's crazy.
Yeah. I would have a big stern talk. I would, at this point, you would drag Bella out and go, "Okay, I know you're a whore. Like, like,
or at least like your sex life gotta be crazy. Yeah, because like even when she came back from like saving Edward, he
yeah.
was like, "You're grounded for the rest of your life, forever." He was like on the edge of. I think that was one of his better acting moments. He was like, because he was like, "I care about you, but I have to be a stern dad." I like him. I like.
He's such a damn good actor that he makes the character almost make sense. Like,
And it's like you can see where Bella's like, I'm not gonna say antisocial, but like not as sociable characteristics can. Even though he has like friends, he's like a police officer. This that, and the other.
yeah. Oh man,
But
I
like you
didn't
can
think of
see
that.
in like his mannerisms, how he talks in
Hmm.
those short sentences and stuff. You can see like where Bella comes from, like not making eye contact like her
Right,
dad.
right.
So like I like that too.
You know what made me mad was like he's clearly good friends with the tribe. He's clearly like a very good person who's like really invested in the community. He just wants to help. And like good friends, he goes hunting with them. Like he's such good
Yeah, he
friends.
goes hunting, goes fishing, does all that.
He's such good friends with them that when he's going hunting, his family friend that works for the tribe comes in and they're all ready with their gear and like and Bella says he goes like, "Oh Bella, I can stay home if I need to," like, and he goes, "No you can't," because like they're that good of friends,
Yeah, like they
like
can make those little jokes. Yeah.
and yet they fucking Jacob told her like the second day that they knew each other. Jacob told her that they have wolf descendants, and yet Billy's never been told by anybody.
Yeah, especially if he's like been over by the reservation and seen like these 36 shirtless teenagers. Of course, that might raise some questions to a police officer, but it's just friends, people.
I thought early on that he did know, because there's like bits where he goes, "Oh, there's a bear in the woods. You like hunting? Do you want to deal with that?" Because it almost seems like he knows.
Yeah, like he's like trying to keep it a secret from Bella, but doing like a little.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't know at all. It's like, why are you?
Yeah,
Everybody
like
mistreats him.
when they're going hunting, and he's like, "Did you find anything?" And the boy just covers up the track with his foot. Says no.
Yes, like that guy deserved to have a heart attack. Like, literally,
That
like
heart attack. That heart attack was. I'm not gonna say anybody having a heart attack is funny, but she like picked him up and he was looking. And when she got hit, he just laid on the ground, didn't make a sound, was just staring Charlie in the face like.
yeah, no, it wasn't even like a heart attack. It was just like, oh, boom, he knocked out. Boom.
Yeah, I didn't think he died. I thought he.
It was so fast. Like I hardly even know this guy.
There is another good cinematography thing. Is like you can see him like it's clear, but in the background, all you see is like a blurry figure and just her red hair.
Yeah, that was
So you
cool.
know something's back, and then when he turns around, the
Yeah,
camera
it's gone.
with him, and it's gone. I said, "Ooh."
Yeah, I like that. I also broke down that scene because they had like this track over it, like a montage track. And they're like cutting between them all. And like Bella, I thought was doing her own thing, but no, she's in the same forest. And like, yeah, she's in the same forest because they like chase her off the cliff and she dives in, and then Bella dives in. And like, I was watching the scenes in my head and going, oh, if they had scored this differently, like it would have been like an intense horror scene. But because they didn't, because like I think the scene before was already dramatic, so they didn't want to do it again. So their solution was do it again but change the music. Like what are you doing there?
I think that they didn't plan the pacing for that one section that great, and so the viewer got confused. They didn't get confused. They were just like, "Oh fuck, well,
Yeah.
I want to do it twice." Fuck it. Who cares?
I also thought when like they do the like super speed constantly throughout the movie, like the one part where she's running and there's a crow, which I thought was, it's like a smart idea, but not the greatest looking. Anyways, whenever they go to like the Volturi and the Volturi are like fighting and they're going in super speed, so almost everything is in slow-mo. I would have loved if like you see all this dramatic action and then it cuts to Bella, and you just see it like instantly. Like if it gets,
Yeah, like from like the human perspective type.
because we see like
Yeah.
glimpses of like, oh, they're blurry going quick, but like I would like to see just Bella standing. So let's say like the Volturi guy like throws Edward against the wall, and then Edward punches him, and like they punch him a couple times, and then the one guy throws Edward on the ground. He's like, if like all you see from her perspective is just like, boom, he's on the ground. That'd be like so fucking cool, especially with like loud noises too.
But oh, speaking of the fucking, I can't remember the name, so I call it the Vampire Vatican. The Vampire Vatican scene when Edward is trying to like fight the people off, they beat his ass. Like no, because he got hit under like a cement chair, and I thought this scene was so stupid because the guy punches through the chair, the cement to hit him. I was like, that's stupid. And then he picked him up and broke his back on like.
Yeah,
like,
his like neck started breaking, and so it looked like a statue like cracking, and then he fixes himself and like gets back up.
I was like, is that him? Like, was that him like bleeding out, and then he just fucking
I thought
blood
like
clotted himself?
Yeah, what is that, like the power of love made him heal back from the cracks? Like I feel like it'd be kind of cool if cracks are like scars and they like stay, but like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not writing it. Because she got a camera. Her dad gave her the camera.
For the scrapbook. Yeah.
By the way, who's the fucking better parent there? Her dad got her a camera. Her mom got her a scrapbook to put the photos in. Her mom went to Rite Aid and bought a fucking photo book. Her dad got her a like $300 at the time camera.
That can was it like one of the like a Polaroid that printed out on the spot, or do you think she had a? I didn't, because I don't remember.
It was a pink Panasonic Lumix LG30, I think it was called, or FG30. I looked it up because some message board said, "What is Bella's camera?" And the guy said it is most likely the Panasonic Lumix. And anyways, the pink version that she has only available in Japan.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Damn, Dad. God damn.
I thought it was interesting the product placement in this had been ramped up a little bit more.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
But the product placement was strange. You're advertising a Japanese only camera, and then a Canon photo printer, and then all the laptops are iMacs, I think. Which is
Yeah, they were iMacs, yeah.
What a strange combination of things. But okay, get your bag.
It kind of felt like they were like put an advertisement like, "Do you want your thing in a movie? Give us some money, we'll put it in the movie. Go ahead."
Yeah, I would have done some of this stuff differently. Have you ever seen Sherlock?
Yeah.
You know how they do their text messages where it's just like white text on the screen as they type it? Or I like that one because no matter how old the movie is, it ages properly. Because whatever, if our messages aren't bubbles anymore in 10 years, it doesn't matter. It's just letters. Because the words we'll always text in words.
Yeah. Unless it's like fucking Comic Sans font or something.
Oh, the other theme, you were talking about how blatant the one theme was. What was it? Her birthday or
the Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, the Romeo and Juliet was a big theme, but the other one was the aging theme.
Oh my goodness.
It was like it was two different movies because like the first half was very concerned with age. She's constantly bringing it up with her friends. She has the weird vision where she's an old lady, which I thought is kind of sweet.
She wants to become a vampire. It feels like she wants to be a vampire.
Yeah.
And like, it's not an excuse because I do think she like loves him or whatever.
Mm.
I don't know. But she's like, the only way you can protect me is if you change me. You gotta change me. In like another part, she's like, I want you to change me. I want you to be the one. It's like, does she like? I don't know. Maybe you're right about her crazy sex life. Maybe it's like that coming up, and she's like, "You gotta change me."
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because I know I watched this show called The Orville, which is like a parody of Star Trek, but also it's just its own thing. and one of the ladies in it falls in love with a robot, and he's like, I promise you forever and ever. Like his vows, part of his vows are he's gonna watch over all of her descendants forever because he's like gonna live forever. And she's like, nobody that's alive could promise me that. Like only he could promise me that. And I honestly like Bella just got a bad idea of the situation. Like
Yeah.
she's like, oh man, he's gonna be so young even when I'm an old granny. Like
Yeah, because she was like, "You're not gonna love me when I'm old and wrinkled." And then I love this part. He got out of his side of the car, closed the door, went to her side of the car to just say, "You don't know how much I love you."
yeah, like damn, like he's really committed to that, and you could live a normal life, and they literally believe that hell exists and that you will go to it if you.
Yeah,
And
fucking
he,
dad was like, "Your soul will be damned." And so I guess they believe in the Christian God.
they do, yeah. Stephanie
Yeah.
Meyer, the writer of it, is a Christian, and so there's a lot of Christian things in this, like they will never have a sex scene until they're married. And this. But then other things like Bella's wild. Bella's gonna be like holding on to Jacob's bare chest. Like she's gonna be like,
No, and like Bella was like on like 2 or 3 separate occasions, like 2 inches from kissing Jacob, and then was like, "Oh, I can't. You're gonna mess everything up, Jacob. I need you so much, but I don't love." It was weird. I'm not gonna say like she was like,
edging him on.
yeah,
What made me
like
mad about it was that like he was semi a great person when she didn't want to be in love with him, and then when she is starting to like fall in love with him is when he's like angry and horrible and like what's
yeah.
wrong
No,
with you?
you're right. Bella is the villain. She ruined Jacob.
What do you think of the wolves?
What about him?
So like
Like,
the size of them, their look, and especially their sound is what I thought was interesting.
them being giant, like fucking huge. I'm not like pissed about it or anything, but it's like they're apparently as big as a bear because they think like a bear is killing everybody.
Yeah,
So a pack of wolves the size of bears would
yeah.
make me shit my pants.
Like I think they give them the eyes of whatever the actor had or something like that because they emote, but you kind of get like weirded out. It's
Wait, what was it called?
it's called Uncanny Valley. So like you're looking at them and you're like, I don't know, I can't believe this.
But like, I only knew which one was Jacob because his like fur was brown and everybody else wasn't brown.
Yeah.
So I guess that was cool. But like when Jacob was fighting the other wolf for Bella after Bella just walked up on him, basically said, "Fuck all you."
Yeah.
What'd you do to hit one of them? Man, like I like the choreography of it because it looked like 2 wolves fighting.
Yeah.
And like close. No, there's a scene when they were going into the woods when they were fighting, where they knocked the camera over, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like this one a lot. I like I think I like it. I don't know if I like it more than the first one. That's a good question because I feel like the first one, this one does a lot to expand the universe, obviously. Like the Volturi is such an interesting threat for the future. The wolves, like after watching this one, I can't wait to see the wolves fight vampires again. Like that's some of the coolest shit.
Like I haven't seen like any movie past the second one in like 8-9 years.
Yeah.
So like I want to see. I don't know if there is. There probably might be like a larger scale like wolf vampire fight, like a 5-on-5 or something.
There is. Yeah. And there's more wolf on wolf stuff too, which is some of the coolest stuff in the franchise.
Wolf on wolf stuff. Oh my god. Oh,
yeah.
geez.
I don't remember if there's a bit where this is the nice thing about giant wolves. So in reality, there used to be things called something wolves, not she wolves, but something like that. Anyways, they were like dire wolves. They're called dire wolves.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
and they're like fucking bear-sized, polar bear-sized wolves, and those were like the first kind of wolves apparently we tamed, and then from there like we started like breeding them to be smaller.
How does a human tame something like that? I wouldn't tame something. You'd have to do it as a cub, because there's no way you tame a big one.
It's scary. Like I mean, I guess it's a little simpler than you think, because you know you think about like how do you teach a kid how to read? Like it sounds incomparable, but then it's very simple. Like, oh, tree. There's a tree. It is pronounced tree. You know, like
T. This is an R. This is an E. Just remember those.
yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But like for wolves, it's like, oh, they're cold. There's a fire. They start to learn that you can like hang out by the fire with the humans. They'll like give you meat. Like,
yeah. And so they won't hurt. Yeah, they won't hurt you. Or like, yeah, I guess. But it's still a fucking giant ass wolf. I'd still be fucking pissing my pants.
yeah. Well, I would fucking. I wish we bred up instead of down. Cause like, imagine
you want a bigger.
Dude, imagine being able like, first of all, carbon emissions. Okay, so you got a dire wolf, right? And you just like first of all,
I know what you're about to fucking say.
So no, look, okay. So imagine you're making a big brisket for your family, right?
Okay, I did not think you were about to say brisket, but go ahead.
You just throw away the leftovers and the dog eats them. No more dog food. That's dumb. They eat real meat. There's no cats that like scratch and bite you. You gotta dire a wolf, and you can fucking ride it to work.
Like shit. No more home security networks. Who needs a Ring doorbell when you have a fucking 16-foot tall wolf in front of your house?
Damn, what if you like criminals start weaponizing them and like you ride your wolf at somebody's house? I imagine him like right like the shot is outside of a house. There's like people eating dinner. You can just see the light and they're eating dinner. This guy runs in with the wolf. The camera never moves. He runs into the wolf. You just see the silhouette of it just like destroying, ripping everyone to shreds.
No, that's how well, that's a crazy war tactic.
Yeah, wolf war.
Imagine if fucking one country had all the fucking dire wolves. That's terrifying. Being in your trench and all of a sudden, giant ass wolf.
I'd like to see more. I would honestly like if they put like a high budget show. I don't know who owns the rights to Twilight, but if it's like Warner Brothers, we could see like an HBO Max rated R show that's exploring like some random 2020 tribe or something like that.
Yeah.
I would like less tribe stuff in it because they can't handle themselves. I don't think Hollywood can handle themselves around Native Americans at all. Like, I've never seen a non-cringe representation.
They make like every single... They don't make a Native American act like a competent human, if that makes sense. They make them like their only like character is being Native American. Mm-hmm. And like, that's it. Like they don't like go to like fucking malls to get shit. Like they don't go to grocery stores. They make it seem like they still live in like
like they're Amish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like the best way to put it.
Like they're Amish, and like even in the Twilight movies, which I thought did, I want to say, the best job of anything I've seen
in a minute, especially in recent time. But I liked in Twilight how they had the idea of like, even though they're on a reservation, they still like live normal American people lives, especially in the Northwest. Not so much in like Arizona and New Mexico.
Yeah,
those are like really low funded reservations and stuff like that. But like up north in like Washington, like even like Northern California, places like that, those reservations are, I'm not gonna say they're nice, but like
better.
Yeah. They're better, have like newer. It's like they gentrified it for them to have. It's weird to say like that.
It always feels strangely racist, every interpretation I've seen. So I don't. If they do that, like have a character who's not even on a reservation. Fucking, I guess, make a Native American the main character. Spin-off show. just spin-off show. I would like a spin-off show handled by a director. Stephanie Myers is not involved. They took her out back and shot her. She's like,
Oh shit.
like there's no weird Christian messaging about the vampires think they're like, let's see what a vampire who doesn't believe in God is doing. Like, don't you think that they'd be like out there fucking destroying things, chugging whiskey? Especially even if you do think you're going to hell, you're like, I'm just gonna live my best life. By the way, that is not a fair fight. Let's just talk about it. The wolves don't stand a chance against a vampire. Like, they
Really don't.
They run like a big wolf. Okay, they're fast. The vampires are running at like the Flash speed.
Bella was like, but the vampires are so fast. But he's like, we're faster, bro.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
And like when they're chasing the Vanessa girl, she's fucking running away at the speed of light, and you like see the blur behind her.
Yeah.
And then like a split second later, you just see these wolves like going like.
Yeah.
I guess since they're big, they travel faster. I guess if you want to say that, if you really want to like dick ride the wolves or something, you could really be like, they have long legs. They can like travel. I guess, but like still no. I don't.
Yeah, like you could say there's magic involved. Like, I mean, if the vampires can use super flash speed, why can't the wolves? Like, fine, go with that route. But like, I think the whole idea with the wolves versus the vampires is that the vampires are supposed to look synthetic, unnatural, and like just they're not even human anymore. Whereas the wolves, the like wolf people are like more. They're more human than regular humans. Like, they look healthier than a human person looks. They look like stronger. They're like better humans. And the contrast is like the vampires are like they look like robots, like running, like they're like crazy.
Yeah, but like back to like wolves versus the vampires.
Yeah.
The only way I can see the wolves winning is like the way they got the black guy, like 6 of them all.
Yeah.
You at the same time. But like a one-on-one, especially like how small and agile, superhuman strength, fucking. Once they like, I don't know, I don't know what one-on-one Jacob versus Edward. I don't know how Edward would lose unless he like fucking broke both of his legs.
Yeah, think about like wrestling your dog. Like, they're very one directional. They're like a car. Like, they're meant to go forward. So like if like with our dog, whenever she's like got a toy and she's like, "Argh," like we'll like rub her on the back and she's like, "Argh," but she won't give up the toy. Like you can run behind him and punch him in the fucking legs. Like
my dog will like take his toy. We're like playing in the backyard in the summer or something.
Yeah.
And like we'll take it and we'll take off running. And like the slightest like change of direction, he loses his footing and just keeps going straight.
Yeah, so, and there's like killer military dogs though. And like they can rip you to shreds, but they have size on their side. Like when you see a big dog like what are those, like Great Pyrenees, you know? Like they're goofy, dude. Like they can't control. They've got their legs are too tall, so they're like, and like, have you seen the Borzois, the ones with the really long noses? They have like
I think you said that. I think I know you're talking.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah, and like
they can't control it. But like, so we don't know what a dire wolf would be capable of. But like, even if you're giving it all the credit in the world and you're like, oh, it's German Shepherd savage, extremely fast, can rip you to shreds if you're a human.
Basically just a giant fucking pit bull.
Like you don't even need to move as the vampire. You literally just gotta like swing around and like whack them from the side and stuff. Like even with bears, you whack them in the nose because they've got all the nervous system parts there, right? Like, it's not a fair fight. It's really not.
Yeah, like I said, if they get a hold of a vampire, which of course 1 in a quadrillion, I don't know how that black guy, that dread-headed black guy, fucking at least didn't get away. Like he could have like climbed on the tree and jumped tree to tree.
Yeah.
If he started jumping tree to tree, no way the fucking shit's gonna get you.
I mean, again, like I guess it was only a fair fight because there's 5, and I honestly wish he was more of a badass than that. Like, I wish that he's one of the best fighters. Because, like, what's his power? Does he even have a power? I can't remember.
No, he didn't have a power because he didn't fight. He said, "I'm running away. They're coming for you. This is not my fight."
Like, I wish his power was he's just a good ass fighter. And I also think that the big guy should have a stupid power. Like, I think his power should be something really dumb and he's bad at fighting. Because I wish. The other thing about the vampires getting cracked in half, I know we talked about this last time. I almost wish they just made their blood a different color. Because you can get away with a lot more violence and brutality when it's a
But what
different
color
color.
what non-whimsical color would you pick?
I'd do like a dark purple. You can get away with dark purple, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because, like,
And would you have it like more like thicker, like ooze out, or would you just have like the same like cut off
ooh.
an arm and just start leaking?
I don't
Start-
like runny, because, like, if you've ever seen Alien, there's like a
Yeah.
robot in there, and he's got like the white blood, and it's like,
Yeah, I've seen the kill count on it. I know what you're talking about.
I don't like that. Like, it's not horrific, it's not funny. Like, those are the two things that blood needs to be: horrific and funny. And, like,
Especially like the scene where like the black guy was getting torn apart. If there was blood in that scene and it was just like flying everywhere.
yeah, like, how much cooler would it have been? Like, it's so much more, like, story-wise conflicting if these, like, she's just met these werewolf guys. First of all, they're not likable. She acts like they're likable. They're not. They're not fun. They're not cool. Whatever. If they were, like, her buddies, and they're, like, way cooler than her friends, they get her. Like, she's on their level. Then they come back with purple vampire blood on their mouths from ripping one to pieces. Like, now you got some conflict
like,
going on.
The scenes of like if they were like ripping it out and like the vampire blood going everywhere,
Yeah.
and like you said, like soak them
Yeah.
in like vampire.
Yeah,
I think
oh,
that
yeah.
would be like more impactful than just like, oh, you bit him, now he's a rock. Ooh.
Yeah. The other bit about that is, like, scars in general aren't used a lot in media, but, like, there's so many good uses. Like, if they were all fighting him and it was like the Thanos fight where they're, like, all trying their hardest and they all get, like, one of them dies, I think, during that fight. Like, all 5 of them versus the most powerful vampire, let's call him. Like, he's the Mace Windu of vampires. Like, he's fucking slaughtering them. I think it'd be lit if his power is a sword. And he, like, pulls the sword, like, out of his head and, like cuts him down and shit. And so, like, one of them like, the main one. What if the main one dies and then, like, the secondary one gets the scar over his eye and now he's the new leader? And, like, the wolf has the scar, but also he has the scar.
Oh.
I don't know, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm more of an action person, but I feel like there's so many missed opportunities with this universe.
I like how we're like spit shotting ideas to them, like they're gonna make a new one anytime.
Yeah, what is it, like Summit Entertainment that owns the rights to this? They ain't got no money no more. Like,
Give him 10 years. Summit Entertainment will be in extinction.
honestly, like, I would, any of these ideas that I'm pitching, give me $20K and I'd shoot it. Like, give me,
Jesus.
like, I know.
That means I get to be an actor.
Yeah, oh yeah. I know Iron Man was shot on $30 million. Joker was shot with $40 million. I could be shooting my own vampire movie for $20 million. That's like pocket change for you guys.
Who's loaning you $20 million for a Twilight in-depth world building?
Robert Rodriguez, the director of Spy Kids and Book of Boba Fett. You know how he funded his first movie?
How?
He sold his organs. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna call that the review. What? So you thought this one was worse than the first one?
After talking about it,
It's growing on me too.
yeah, I think the music isn't as good in the second one.
That's true.
I think the light, because this one, like you said, it got brighter, especially in the Vatican vampires. So and like the experimenting they did do in this movie, like you said, with like the woofer,
Yeah.
like different sections. I think that is good, but you
Mhm.
told me it gets much worse in the other movies, in the later ones,
The wolves
which
get
I'm
better.
sad to hear because the
Yeah.
cinematography, what they tried out, actually worked.
Hmm.
Like the wolves fighting and rolling to the camera, and the camera gets knocked off.
Yeah.
And
Oh
laying on the
yeah, that
ground.
was super cool. That was like an interesting thing because it also like kind of takes you out a little bit. And you're like, oh my god, there's like a camera setup. How is this being shot? Is this the Office documentary?
Yeah, and then like I said, the one where the redhead vampire lady was standing in the tree, but it
Hmm.
is blurred out.
Hmm.
And then when he turned, yeah, it's like I like this other stuff that they did.
Hmm.
The stories compared to the first and second one,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I'll give it about even. I think the second one's a little,
I think you gave the first one a 4.2. I don't know for
yeah.
sure.
The first one I gave a 4.2, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
something like that.
So this is
So
what,
the
a
second,
4.3?
shit, I'll give it like a 4.5. I'll give it upper four. I'll give it upper four.
Okay. Okay.
Mainly because I like I said, the experimenting with the cinematography
Hmm.
and it brightening up and like expanding the world.
Yeah.
That's what it had good going for it for me.
Yeah. I think, okay, so I gave that second one a 4.3. I mean, the first one a 4.3, and like, I stand by that. And as much a lot of me wants to say like Twilight needs to stay in its lane, like the first one, like you were talking about the color grading, like that first
Mm-hmm.
one has this blue and green tone to it, which is interesting because you usually see like cities in that kind of tone, like blue and green.
Yeah.
But to see a forest in that tone is like so refreshing. Like all the cinematography is really great. Um, and I think the parts that really needed to be improved on with the first one were not really in the second one. Like the character stuff gets a little bit better, like not perfect, but it gets a little bit
I,
better.
yeah.
Like the
It's
lore it stays good. Like the lore was already good. The lore gets better. Like that's an improvement for sure. The music does, to if I'm being generous, the music stays the same. Like there's so many bangers and the tone is great in the first movie. Like the music stays consistently carrying you along. This one, the music's just the slightest dip down, but it's still good. Um, like the character stuff, like I said, some of it gets better. Like especially at the beginning of the movie, it feels like the actors have a better handle on who they're playing. Uh, I feel like Edward cares less. Like especially when he's like, "We have to leave." I didn't feel like he was an actor acting at all. Like he was just saying, "We need to leave."
yeah.
Like you're supposed to be conflicted about saying it. Sometimes people do that too much. Like in The Boys, they'll be like telling somebody a lie. Like Huey's like, "No, I won't do that,"
Oh,
and like
when he's lying to
to
the girl.
Starlight, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Starlight.
And like it kind of takes me out because I'm like, okay, you're doing it, but like it's a little over.
It's
Like
so
she would know.
because Huey's eyes are like, yeah, and he's like dripping in sweat.
Yeah, yeah. No, like Edward doesn't give you any of that. It's like, go girl, give us nothing. Like he goes. The idea that the entire movie has no Edward in it, really, like that's pretty brave. I don't think I've seen anything do that before, where they take like the main male out of it. Like that's kind of crazy.
For like
Um,
almost an hour out of the movie, he just
mhm.
didn't even be seen.
That's kind of crazy. Like I almost thought, does he have scheduling conflicts and he couldn't be there? Like what's going on? But no, like I liked that. I liked where she's having multiple personality disorder and he's like there even though he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind
And
of cool.
that little ghost figure in the back, transparent.
The cinematography, I feel like it's a little bit worse than the first one, but like you said, the bit, especially with the CGI wolves and they run by and the camera flips up, like you could have, like so many studio movies would have said no to that. Like if a Marvel movie was
Mm-hmm.
doing that, like you're breaking the fourth wall almost. Like how would the camera get knocked over? But they let him do it, and I like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
It's like
cool. I don't know if it's a vast improvement, but I enjoyed it. Like I think I got 35 minutes in and I was like, oh man, I gotta go wakeboard, and I was like, I kind of want to watch this more. Like I don't want to say a 5.5, but this might be a 5.5. It doesn't feel like that big of a leap over the first one, but it really is if you break it down. And the pacing was okay. Like there's bits of it that like especially around the hour, I kept checking the time. Like what? Let's go. Like what? You're kind of petering out a
Yeah.
little bit here.
And like at some points they like started like when they just all of a sudden teleported to Italy, like without any on the same day Edward was gonna expose him. Like it was just like
I didn't mind that because it was like, let's get this over with.
yeah, like I get what they were doing. They had it like
Yeah.
first time. It was getting long too, so they were like, okay, let's wrap it up.
I can see that Twilight really would have been benefited from coming out now as a big budget show, because this is like 3 different episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you could even say like the part where she goes with her friends to the movies or shopping or whatever, or filler episodes. Like, this is a season. This isn't like a movie. Because especially, like, I think it's actually enjoyed better if you would just put chapters in it. Like, if, like, there's a chapter and you go, like, eat something and come back and, like, oh, now Edward's involved in the plot. Like...
Yeah, like especially with this movie, they could have definitely made episodes with, like, the black guy coming back. That could have been its own episode.
God, yeah.
It could have been its own episode with Veronica. Could have been its own episode for Bella's birthday.
Yeah.
There's so much you could have done with just this one movie.
Yeah, like I imagine the one with the birthday would be called like Beginning of the End, and like it's like
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and like, oh man, especially like the way that you paced out the villains too as their own like the Jamaican guy is like the middle season villain, and like the wolves, like if it built up to that shit, like it would have been so much cooler. Like he's a cool ass character, he is, he's one of your best actors. Why didn't you build to him coming back? He's just there.
He reminds me of, I can't remember who it is, the Jamaican guy from X-Men, the X-Men guy with the Jamaican accent. I don't know why he reminds me of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got so much weight to his performance. I feel like he's one of the best. Like tonally, when he is on screen, I'm like, this is cool. Like that's enough for me to go, like, I kind of like this universe.
And it's like the way he speaks, like he'll like drag out some words and like say, it's like how he phrases certain things. Like he'll be like, Vanessa would have taken so long to kill you, but I'm generous. I'm like he
yes,
really acts out.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed seeing him. R.I.P. to him. Hopefully he ain't died. But
yeah.
I'm feeling R.I.P. to him.
But like, yeah. Like he really understands his role, and he's got that, dare I say, Juan Carlo Esposito draw to him. Like he's like intimidating. Like he's great. Like he even like the baseball scene in that first movie could have been whack. It could have been cringe.
Yeah, it could have just
He
been, like,
turns that scene into the best scene of the movie. Like it's crazy.
Like even like the white guy villain, the main white guy vampire, he barely even talked.
Yeah.
Because like you were so fixated on Dreadhead guy, and like you, of course, you were worried about the fucking chapter 1 villain, like finding out about Bella and stuff.
But he's also just like a bodyguard. Like he's nothing.
Yeah. Why was he even with those two to begin with?
That's why you pace it out better. Like Veronica is the mid-season boss. I even think that you could say that the Volturi is the end of season thing. But really the big guy is the Dreadlock guy. Because like now you've killed both his guys. Right? And now you could even say like the Volturi is like not willing to go to the lengths that he is. Like now he's vengeance, right?
Especially in a show format, like shown like that, those 3 people were like, maybe they were like a trio, like a war.
Yeah, well, they're their own family, right? They just don't have the same rules that our vampire family does. They just will eat people, which is just regular for them. Well, Once again, we really went off the rails there. It was kind of crazy. We went into our whole fan fiction of how we wish Twilight would work and how we would do it ourselves today. So it was a little crazy, but yeah. Anyways, that was Twilight New Moon. It was a pretty good one. I gave it like a 5.5. He gave it a 4.3. It's a really fun talk. It ended up really turning out to be like 3 or 4 hours. A lot of that was lost because my audio was bad, and I'm sorry that the audio was sort of shoddy throughout the whole thing, but I did my best to cobble it together. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you join us next week as we tackle Twilight Eclipse. I think it's called Eclipse. Anyways, I hope to see you there, and I'm really glad that you watched this. All right, bye.